When I was a young lad back in the early 2010s, I was addicted to watching old YouTube animations. I've talked about Edgeworld in the past and how it changed internet animations, but today, I want to talk about an old YouTube animated series that I adored growing up. A YouTube series so memorable and so hilarious, and based on one of the most successful video games of all time, Minecraft. Even though the series was very successful, not a lot of people remember it today, but it is still worth talking about, and that YouTube series was the Noob Adventures. For those who haven't seen the series, I'll fill you in on what it's about. The Noob Adventures was an old Minecraft animated series created by the user Falconer02 and aired on a Machinima and Happy Hour on YouTube, and also aired on NewGrounds. The series is about 3 Minecraft players named Noobly, Fart Garfunkel, and Poop Loser 69. God, I love these names. Who have recently joined a Minecraft server and set out to explore it. They run into the ruler of the server, Gaylord Steambath. What are these names? Who turns out to be a psychotic maniac and is also kind of a weirdo. He has either killed or banished all the players in the server, and the last remaining few players are avoiding Gaylord at all costs. Noobly, Fart, and Poop Loser decide to team up and fight against Gaylord, while exploring the lands and running into many different characters and obstacles. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers of the series, and so I really suggest you guys check it out on your own. It's on YouTube and NewGrounds, so I really suggest checking it out. Anyway, first I want to talk about what made this series so popular. Now, this series premiered in late 2011. This is around the time Minecraft started blowing up in popularity, and when animation on YouTube and Newgrounds was at its highest. And also, Noob Adventures was one of the first ever Minecraft animations made. Nowadays there are plenty of Minecraft animated series, like Wonder Quest, Villager News, Steve and Alex, and this weird series called Futuristic Hub.
What happened? What is it? What's wrong? Look at us. What is this? Whoa, what are we? I think we're astronauts. And I even have a plump astronaut.
I'm gonna have to talk about this another day because this is, weird. But Noob Adventures won the first, and this series was perfect for the time. The humor in this show is filled with early 2010s humor. Some of the jokes here are slightly outdated, but then again, every early internet animation is outdated. But even today, this show is fucking hilarious. The main funny moments of the show come from the characters and their interactions. They bounce off each other so well and have great banter, and the names in the show are honestly hilarious, like Fart Garfunkel, Poop Loser 69, Gaylord Steambath, and Milky Dad. All these names remind me of old Xbox 360 usernames. It's amazing. And some of my most favorite characters are characters like Fart Garfunkel, Gaylord Steambath, and Milky Dad. Fart is hilarious and perfectly shows what an online gamer was like back in the early 2010s. With the way he talks and how he tries that cool 24/7 and all the references he spews. He has some of the best lines and reactions in this show and is really amazing. And Gaylord Steambath is honestly just fucking insane and is so weird, and I love him. The way he talks and acts shows how insane and weird he is. He has some of the best lines, and the way he talks is just so weird but amazing. He kinda reminds me of Lemongrab from Adventure Time. And also, Milky Dad is just a great character. He has a Joe Pesci vibe to him, and he has a change throughout the series. He starts off as a character that the heroes run into, then he teams up with Gaylord Steambath, then has a change of heart. He is really swag. And the actual story of the show is really interesting. It's basically a fantasy adventure story set in Minecraft. The heroes go all over the land, fighting Minecraft creatures and running into multiple different characters, like witches, villagers, 7-year-old Minecraft gamers, and random players scattered throughout the map. The whole production design on the show is surprisingly really good, for a YouTube series of course. The animation isn't amazing, it was animated on Flash, and we all know how bad Flash is. I should know because I was stuck with that program for years. But the animation design has a nice little charm to it. It's simple but really impressive since it was mostly animated by one guy, and for YouTube as well. They also implement 3D animation in this series, and the 3D animation meshes really well with the 2D animation. And the voice acting here is really good. It doesn't have your shitty early 2010s audio, it's actually quite professional. All the voice actors do an amazing job, especially the voice actor for Gaylord Steambath. He is amazing. His voice actor deserves a crown. Oh wait, never mind, they already gave him one. The quality of the show is great and could honestly pass for an actual TV series with the effort that's put into it. It's clear that Falconer loved making the series and wanted to put all he could into the show. Now, with a series so popular and that had such a big fan base, why don't many people talk about it today? Well, that could be a few reasons. The main reason could be because of Machinima. Now, if you don't know what happened with Machinima, basically they were kinda shitty towards their partners and would often rip off their creators, similar to Maker Studios. And when Machinima shut down in February 2019, sadly a lot of their series went down, which sucks because Noob Adventures is one of their most popular video game series, right next to Santino included. But almost all the old episodes were taken down, only a few still remain on the Falconer02 channel, but you could still watch the full Noob Adventures series remastered in HD on NewGrounds, but not a lot of people have NewGrounds, so yeah. Sadly, Noob Adventures has kind of slowly died out. However, the fanbase for the series is still really strong today, and they even have an active Minecraft server based on the series. The server is a lot of fun to play on. I find myself playing on it sometimes and it's really fun. And Falconer does interact with the fans occasionally, since there are still a load of fans of the series out there. Now before I end this video, I was lucky enough to get an interview with the creator of Noob Adventures, Falconer02, so let's sit down and talk with Falconer02. Alright, so first question, so what was like your main inspiration for the series, like the main idea that got Noob Adventures up and running?
Like where it originated from and everything?
Yeah, where it originated from.
If I recall correctly, I was surfing the Something Awful forums way back in the day. This is probably like 2010, 2011, I forget what year. And long story short, somebody made a cool Minecraft thread, and I was looking through all the creations, and I'm like, man, I should probably try this game. It seems to be getting popular. And I tried it out. It was the game was still in beta, and my brother and a couple of friends of mine got it after I got it, and we started playing. We had like LAN parties, and we're playing online, and we had some hilarious adventures. My brother essentially was the Gaylord Seabath character. He was just like hiding in the shadows and just griefing my friends and I whenever we were like AFK or something. And from there, just like there was a ton of stories that came from that, and I was making animations on NewGrounds, and that's where Machinima popped in. They emailed me, and then they asked me to do a series on Minecraft, and yeah, that's where it came from, pretty much.
Now, when do you think like the series started like really take off? Like when it started to blow up in popularity? Like when do you think that like started to happen?
If I recall correctly, the first episode, it actually didn't do that well. I think within like the first week, for Machinima standards, I should say, like sorry, I'm gonna jump all over here, but they, I think the first episode, within like the first week, it only got like 50,000 views or something, and then the second episode came out. My bosses at Machinima were like, just keep making it, and so I made the second episode, and that episode just took off. Like within a couple of days, it had like 1 million views, and then the first episode got that many views too. I'm like, oh wow, it's actually doing really good now. So I'd say about like the second episode is where we realized like, oh, we might have a hit here. So yeah.
Like, and next question, did you ever think the series would get this big? Like, did you ever think it would like get to like such a point where like it had like tons of fans?
No, I did not. I was just asked, like, they wanted me to do a fun series and everything, and I was actually more like, I had never done a series before. Before that, it was just small little animations here and there of my like own independent animations of like my own characters and everything, or just funny ideas I had. And like I said, I just never worked on a series before, so it was kind of like traversing an area I've never been before, and it was stressful and everything. So I was actually more concentrated on that than the actual popularity at the time. And so yeah, it was. Does that answer the question? I'm jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course it does. What was it like working for Machinima? Because like we all know like stuff happened with Machinima and they did some things, but for you, what was the person like working for Machinima?
I know what you mean. They got a really bad reputation from like I'd say around like 2010, 2011, and that's actually when I joined them. And I looked into it, and it really did have a lot to do with like their contracts and everything. But with me personally, I worked with two contract guys, not contract guys, just I'm just going to call them the bosses. But they worked like in Machinima's offices and everything. Their names were Micah and Lon, I believe, and they were great guys. And I met them once in Los Angeles. Great people. And so I look at the Machinima, the company, as sort of kind of scummy, but like a lot of their employees and everything were actually like really fine, decent people. Yeah.
I that's the thing with like most companies, like they can make good stuff, but can like behind the scenes can be like, you know, not the best in terms of business.
Yeah, it had more to do with like the higher ups. I think the people that were running the company were like making really bad deals and everything. And I think somebody got arrested. I forget who, like back in 2018 or 2019. That might have been Rooster Teeth. I don't know, but I heard a lot of people like within Machinima were just like kind of immoral individuals. But I guess I just lucked out with the people I worked with. They were like really cool guys, around the same age as me and everything, and they were just fine guys.
That's good. What was like, so obviously like NewGrounds is kind of like not really as active as they used to be, but like when NewGrounds like at its highest, what was the community at NewGrounds like back in the day? Like when you were uploading there, what was it like?
It was amazing, and it was kind of, you're kind of on the tip of the sword with something on the internet that really hasn't been seen before in like all of humanity. And when you really think about it, you just had like a really cool community creating animations, and everybody was just like, you know, commenting and like positively criticizing everybody over the work. And I really like that part of it. And when you have you know, other famous animators and, you know, YouTube stars like commenting on your videos saying like, that was really good, try this, you know, it was really cool. I think like Ego Raptor back in the day commented on one of my videos, and I was like, no way, that's awesome. And so stuff like that, it's cool. So yeah, Newgrounds to me has always been like the golden area of the internet as far as animation and art goes, and it still is in many respects, considering when you look at YouTube and it's just kind of like just a massive dump of a lot of stuff. And it's like they're trying to like mimic TikTok now, and I don't know. So like Newgrounds though has always kind of stayed genuine. I guess that's a good word, is genuine.
Yeah, genuine. Like to me, YouTube, or like recently YouTube's been kind of more corporate, like, you know, trying to do this and that, like do what's popular. But Newgrounds is like, you know, focused on what people enjoyed at the time. And like I joined Newgrounds like kind of late in the game, but like even then, like I had what I enjoyed, and like it was just a great community. Like it sucks that like YouTube's a bigger like brand, I guess you could say, but like Newgrounds, Newgrounds is like just, in my opinion, the best place for animations back in the day.
And it still is to an extent, but because of YouTube kind of just like what's the word, diluted a lot of like video content in many respects. Because back in the day when like Flash was a thing and everything, that was like when I was in high school and middle school and all that, like Newgrounds was amazing. That was like the one website that everybody went to see cool stuff. And now like I've like over the last couple of summers, I've taught some little kids. I do like summer camp for kids, stuff like that. And that I'm always happy that they're like on breaks and everything, or before class they're on Newgrounds, and I'm like, oh, okay, nothing has changed. It's great. It's actually a really good thing to see.
Yeah, I really do hope, like, you know, Newgrounds, like, at least people can look at Newgrounds and, like, acknowledge, like, well, it may not be popular, like, it's still, like, started off this whole generation of, like, artists online, because, like, it really was big.
Yeah, it was an important part of artist history, I think, when viewing, like, art as a whole. Newgrounds is definitely in that vicinity.
Yeah. I'm probably like the only one who still uses Newgrounds to this day. Like I still use it, and like it's great. Like, great.
Yeah, it's still great, but the problem is, it's like it's nowhere near as great as it was before Google bought YouTube, and I think that's when like it got diluted for the most part.
Yeah, and speaking of YouTube, on to the next question. What was it like seeing YouTube kind of change from, like, you know, quality over quantity to suddenly change it to quantity over quality? Like, what was that kind of like for you as an animator, since, like, you know, it was hard for animators to like adjust to YouTube's new like rules and stuff?
Yeah. I sort of gave up for a while, for a couple of years actually, and it was to the point where um, I might butcher these couple sentences, so I might have to redo it for you. But long story short, to me, it was like back in like 2011, 2012. That was like some of the golden years of YouTube, um, and you had a lot of cool people coming on the internet, like Rocket Jump and Corridor Digital. Those are the people that made those like awesome CG videos, and I loved content like that. I loved to animate cartoons. It seemed like that was the thing to do, and then it slowly turned into let's plays and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with let's plays. It just like when you have these like people that are just doing it for minimal effort and everything, but they're getting like millions and millions of hits. You can't compete with that. So like somebody that makes animation, it takes them a couple months to do, and it's only like a minute or two long. They get outshined by a person that's doing these like dumb videos that like there's no what's the word, quality. There's no enriching things in there that like make people want to do something besides play a game.
Now, with all that being said, Noob Adventures, in my opinion at least, is one of the greatest Minecraft animations there is. With the hilarious characters, memorable stories, and amazing humor, it stands to be one of the best YouTube animated series there is. It sucks that a lot of people don't remember the series, since the fanbase for the show was huge back in the day. I really hope the series gets a resurgence in popularity, as it is amazing. It may be a small bit outdated in terms of humor, but I, and many others, still adore this series. I highly suggest checking out the series on NewGrounds, or on YouTube. Anyway, thank you all for watching this. Special thanks to Falconer02 for doing the interview. He is amazing for creating such a memorable series, and I highly suggest checking him out. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you lads in the next video. Goodbye.